And I think that's the beauty of the future of AI, is the child on this electric bike and teachers with their own set of high-tech tools. So we both the teacher and the students have these tools that are helping them being more effective, and you still are in control of what you do. Now, how do we get there? So, couple of quick things here, and I have four strategies to think about. The first one is you have the vacuum, clear up. You have personal tutors, personalize. You have the gloves, go hands on. You have the elevator, ascend. Now, what do I mean by all of these? Okay, and I'm going to go into more details explaining all that next. So, first of all, you have the vacuum. Clear up your schedule. You just got an AI assistant. And this is so powerful, right? Now there are so many mundane kind of day-to-day things that you have to do. And because of having this AI assistant now, you can actually offload some of those, right? So for example, drafting emails to your parent, to the parents, to do some kind of translation, drafting schedule of weekly activities. At least, you can have the chatbots assist you with the first draft. You can go ahead and edit those and make them your own, but you have something to begin with. Lesson planning help. Of course, with prompts, you got to be specific. You can set the parameters, the kind of persona. I'm a teacher, fourth grade teacher. We're writing a note to the parents, so things like that. You can also set the style. Um, I'm going to show some quick examples. I don't intend to go into details. Of course, there's a ton of resources out there if you did want to get more experience in how to use these chatbots to clear up your schedule, especially with these mundane tasks. You can do so. A couple of examples here. I just put a prompt saying, draft a meet the teacher letter for parents for a sixth grade. And again, I could have gone more specific and say, okay, make it in a humorous style or other things. I could add those things too. I just kept it very simple. It comes up with a draft right there, and you can go ahead, copy it, edit it out. I said translate this letter to Spanish. Now you can copy the Spanish version of it and also include that in your emails. This is for a lesson planning. I said give a grammatically wrong passage about diversity in STEM. So it gives a wrong passage, and also tells you exactly what's wrong with the passage. Then I said provide first week of activities for fourth grade students. It comes up with a list of things that you could possibly do. And then I said, create a passage on ethical use of genetics and provide reading comprehension questions for sixth grade students in the USA. And it comes up with a passage and it gives you all the reading comprehension questions along with the answers. So there you go. At least we have something basic, right? And these responses come out in a matter of seconds. So you have these resources you can immediately start to use and get your time a little bit more cleared up. Okay, so that's the first one. The second thing I talked about, personalized tutors, right? So each of the child now has a personal tutor. You just got to show how kids can use that tutor. So for example, this child is learning equations. So I acted like a student. I said, okay, I'm learning about equations in my class. Where will I apply this in real life? So now this question was asked. I asked this of Bing, and Bing came up with all these examples of, you can apply it for age, you can apply it to speed, geometry problems, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you know what? This is too theoretical. So I said that. I said, this is very theoretical. I'm unclear as to which careers and industries will use equations in the real world setting. So then it comes up and says, okay, financial analysts can use that, engineers use it, scientists use it. And so let's say this child is more interested in the financial side. They can ask the next question about, oh, so tell me more about how might a financial analyst use this? And then the chatbot goes into more details about all of that. Now, if this child was more curious about an engineering career, they could ask more about engineering. So again, see how they can personalize the more exploration of some of these topics, and also creating those industry connections, real life career connections, which is powerful for the student. And then I said, in simple terms, please, because I mean, it was giving me all kinds of terms like revenue and profit. So basically, I said, okay, in simple terms, I am a sixth grader. So then the chatbot says, oh, I'm so sorry. And then it comes up with much simpler explanation of all the things. So there we go. You have a personal tutor who's able to address these questions in real time for the child. Isn't that powerful? All right, so let's look at the next element is doing more hands-on. So you got the gloves, right? Now get more hands-on. Now we have been talking about all these STEM itself is very hands-on, and we've been talking about all the different ways you can go hands-on, whether it's project-based learning, play-based learning, experiential, research-based, experimentation, a lot more different things that you can apply. The point is that you're basically creating experiences and the child is learning or getting reinforcement about their learning through these experiences. And that's really powerful. And that's something very human as well, right? So now that you have freed up some of your time by using the teaching assistant, the AI assistant, you can spend a little more time on getting more hands-on with your students. Now, I always give this example, when I was growing up in the schools, second law of motion, how many of you know? Yeah. So second law of motion, force equals mass time acceleration. That's the way I learned about second law of motion. It was a formula, and basically, you have a mass and you have a acceleration. Figure out the force. That's the way I learned second law. It didn't make sense to me. I learned it only. I really figured out what it meant really was when I went hands-on with students in my second career, right? When I decided to go out of the corporate life and start getting hands-on and provide these experiences to teachers, how we can bring STEM in a more fun and hands-on way to the students. That's when we basically said, no, we can bring the formulas, we can talk about them, but the more important learning comes through experiences. So, hey, students, let's push this object and this object. One is lighter, one is heavier. If you give it the same amount of push, which one do you think will go forward more? And based on those experiences, the child makes a correlation, a connection that, yeah, if something is heavy, I need to push it more. And that's the way, and that learning sticks, right? So that's the bottom line. And the next strategy I gave you was about elevator. You have an elevator ascend. What do I mean by that? So in 1857, Otis uh, installed the first elevator in New York City. Now, something that we may not realize is before the widespread use of elevators, the wealthy used to live on the lower levels. The buildings could only have about 7 floors. The wealthy would live on the lower levels, and the poor would live on the higher levels because they would have to climb up the stairs. Now, when the elevators became widespread, the trend reversed, right? And the whole social stratification. As you can see, now we have the modern penthouses, which are the topmost floor of a building. So, why I told you the story is that now with the AI, you have some powerful resources, and the resourceful people, now you have more resources. Ascend. Where do you ascend?